Okay, today I'm going to introduce you guys to a few music symbols. Some of you may be quite familiar with these already. These 5 lines and 4 spaces are where we write our music. They're kind of our blank canvas, and this is called a staff. Most musicians are going to use a staff to put their music on, so you will see those kinds of things if you have some sheet music. The next thing I'm going to talk to you about is this sign right here. You will see this sign sometimes at the end of your music, or you might sometimes see it in the middle of your music. This is called a repeat sign. A repeat sign tells you to do 2 things. It either tells you to repeat back to the beginning, or you might see another repeat sign somewhere in your music that looks backwards, and it will tell you repeat to the repeat sign or repeat to the beginning, and that's what a repeat sign does. The next thing I'm going to tell you about are these lines right here. These lines are called bar lines. Bar lines on our staff separate our staff up so that we can separate it into measures. So for every time you have a bar line, you have a space in between them called a measure. The very end of your music, you may see this symbol right here. That is a double bar line. And a double bar line tells you that that is the end of your music and you are done. The last 2 symbols I'm going to talk to you about are these 2 symbols down here. This symbol right here on our staff is called a treble clef. Most of you are probably quite familiar with a treble clef and have seen it a few times. It also has another name. It gets its other name because it circles this line right here, which is the G line. So it is called treble clef or G clef. This one right here is a bass clef. And a bass clef is where you're going to hear the lower sounds in your music. The bass clef, it gets this other name because the 2 dots go around the F line. So it's called bass clef or F clef. And like I said, some of you may already be familiar with the treble clef and have seen it quite a few times. It's going to be where most of the music that you would sing or play at this point, that's where you're going to have it on your treble clef. And the bass clef, like I said, is going to be for your lower instruments and your lower notes, the lower side of the piano. And those are the few music symbols that I have for you guys today.